Hey people, I got some stuff coming out for you, and it's a lot of the stuff that was all brought to you by the left, the Biden administration, all this liberal nonsense, and even maybe Obama, I believe, is involved in this too, because some of the things they're showing you is not even in the United States, it's over in the UK and other countries where the Muslims are just overtaking places, and it's gonna hit the fan. I mean, enough is enough. People are starting to reject everything. So we'll see what's gonna go on. I got some stuff, like I said, it's coming out at you. You guys read it, look it up, make your own decisions on stuff. I'm just here to point stuff out, make sure you guys know what's going on in this world, because a lot of people don't care. They got the ads buried in the sand, and that's not good, because we are in for some deep shit trouble. So keep watching. I'll try to keep it short. I know that last video I did was long, but I mean, if you're watching from start to finish, you'll appreciate it. But for now, I'll be back in a little bit, and we'll see how you like this one.
Hamas went into the Israel that day knowing they can't beat the IDF. They went in that day knowing that the IDF would come after the hostages. They went in that day knowing that they were going to use their own civilians on top of legitimate military targets in an effort to increase civilian casualties, their civilian casualties. And yet they knew that Western media and academia would back their play and make a false moral equivalency argument. The question that you got to start asking yourself, if you're serious about this, how did they know they could trust left-wing academia and media to back their play? How did they know? Because that's exactly what took place.
I'm assuming you would say yes on dismantling Department of Education.
Well, that's an understatement. I always say that government schools are literal prisons for children. Government schools are the best way to get kids to hate reading and learning. Everyone watching this knows you have certain skills that you're better at. Maybe you're great at math. Maybe I'm better at woodworking. I don't know. The fact that we all go to school at the same time and have to sit in a chair for the same amount of time, it makes absolutely no sense, because it's the Prussian model. The idea was, this came over in the late 1800s, early 1900s, we're going to create a nation of little soldiers, or the equivalent little factory workers, so everyone will be a cog in a machine. It is designed not to educate, but to break the spirits of young children, especially independent thinkers.
Yeah, there's no other situation where you're only hanging out with people who are exactly your age every single day, right?
China just put 100% tariff on Canada. Okay, so here we go again, another trade war, but now it's Canada and China. But why? What's really going down? Let me break it down for you. So back in October of 2024, Canada decided to slap a huge tariff on China. Yes, our friendly neighborhood Canadians. 100% surtax for all electric vehicles coming from China. No more cheap Chinese EVs coming in to the Canadian market. Then they hit Chinese steel and aluminum with a 25% tariff. Come on, Canadians, I thought you guys were polite. But why? Because Canada said China was playing dirty, that they were allegedly manipulating the market with government subsidies. Sound familiar? Well, China decided to respond tariff per tariff. Just yesterday, China fired back to Canada's tariffs. And guess who's going to be paying the prices? Canadian farmers. China just slapped a 100% tariff on Canadian rapeseed oil cake and peas. And on top of that, a 25% tariff on pork and seafood. That's right, China is going straight for Canada's agricultural sector. But we've got to understand this isn't just about trade. It's about leverage, it's about power, and ultimately about control. So what happens now? Well, sadly, Canadian farmers are going to be suffering a huge loss, because just like the United States, China is Canada's second biggest partner in the world. And they just finished putting a chokehold on their greatest assets. So China is deciding to flex their muscle on Canada and sending a message that says, you mess with us, we'll make you pay it. So is Canada still going to want to shut off our light?
Bueno, esto también es Barcelona. Multicultural.
Now to the U.S.-Mexico border, where travelers are experiencing some changes during spring break travel. If you're heading south of the border for your vacation, you'll need more than just your passport. Mexico is now requiring U.S. citizens to fill out an immigration form before they can cross. And it's created incredibly long lines at the port of entry.
This process is not new, but Mexican immigration authorities are now strictly enforcing it, leaving people waiting hours to get into Mexico and having to pay.
Countless Arizonans, Jim McCauley and his wife who live in Scottsdale, were heading into Mexico for a day trip.
It's something we've done many, many times before.
They usually go in on foot and say the process is easy.
Normally walking into Mexico is just like walking into a Walmart.
But on Thursday, when they got to the point of entry in Yuma, that wasn't the case.
The line was very, very long.
U.S. citizens traveling into Mexico not only have to bring their passport, but now must obtain a travel visa, according to the Mexican consulate of Phoenix, a form most Americans don't know about because Mexico hasn't strictly enforced it until now.
You want to know something that cringes me as a Mexican American myself? Is when I hear the left say, well, if we're going to deport all the illegal aliens, who's going to pick the strawberries? Who's going to build my house? Legal Americans. That my own family, who is legal, a Mexican American family, if you want to give us some DEI points, can build your house. My grandpa does construction. There are a lot of American skilled people that can do the job. But the only reason why they don't want to do that and want to have illegal workers is because they can pay them for lower wages, which they will accept. And this is just wrong. I have a feeling that during the time when they were trying to ban slavery, you definitely had pro-slavery people being like, but who's going to do the jobs for free? Y'all are wild for supporting that.
So there it is. What do you think? Tell me. Hit the like button, subscribe. Peace out. Love you.